Thank you very much, Pyra. I also have a very special guest. I am here with Exileh, but I needed to speak to Romain. We've had some strange goings on today on the Rift. One question for you before we get into the full meat of the interview. What's your feelings on other animal mascots beefing on your turf? What is this? We can have a fight club soon?
I love it. I think it's great. I think it creates a backstory, and a big part of the job as a manager is backstage, and you never see us. So the fact some managers are going a bit to this mascot position, it's fun. I love it. It was really cool.
It's very fun for us as well as we're viewing. All right, Romain, off you pop. Trot back to the rest of the unicorns. We can get on with the serious interview. That's enough of the monkey business for now. So, Exileh, thank you very much for joining us. After a back-and-forth win, 2-1 on the series, I want to talk about the Talon that you brought out. We saw it last week against Fnatic. How come you're the only EU mid laner playing Talon right now?
I think that the lethality buffs have been a bit overlooked by all the tanks. Also, we saw it with Caps playing Kayn, right? That lethality is insanely strong right now. Especially the champions that profit from Duskblade can make it really work, the lethality buff. And yeah, I think that overall Talon right now can push the wave first, usually in any matchup, level 7 or up. So I think that Talon right now is a pretty good pick.
Looks very strong, especially when you got your hands on it. You took down Caps with the Talon last week. I want to talk a little bit about his Kayn. We were talking before this interview, it was banned in the series. Is that something you've got your eye on as another mid lane pick?
I didn't believe that Kayn was that strong in this patch right now. I think that Kayn is a really strong pick in the next patch, however. But after I saw the Fnatic series, I was really impressed from how Caps played Kayn. He played it more like kind of a poke style of champion, where he just goes in the wall and presses W. Yeah, and I think that he made it work really, really well. And I think that Kayn in general right now, especially with the buffs coming in, I think that the champion is going to be a really powerhouse in the mid lane.
Looks like those lethality champions are quite good in your hands as well. I do want to take a little bit of a different turn in the interview to some of the struggles that unicorns have had over the last week or so. A 2-1 series against Mysterious Monkeys, who are in that bottom spot. Losses to Fnatic and Roccat. What do you attribute some of this rough patch for the unicorns?
Right now, I'm not too sure, because I think that as a player, I've struggled a lot in the past few weeks. Especially at Rift Rivals and actually even before. And a lot of criticism has got to me to some extent. But yeah, in the end, it's just that you kind of have to look forward and look what you can keep improve. Right now, I think I'm doing better than before. But however, I think that there's still a lot of ceiling to reach that I will aim for.
Certainly a lot of ceiling that we've seen out of the unicorns, and we've seen some of the adaptations you were talking about. More about your role in the team just beyond being a mid laner. We've heard from the unicorns that you assumed a bit more of a communication role, maybe a leadership role in game. What's been the hardest part of that for you, if that is in fact true?
I think that everyone of the team is shotgunning a lot in the first place, but I think that just when we brought in Circe and Samux, then we kind of had to go over a lot of stuff in jungle and AD carry because they were new to the competitive environment. And this is where I caught up a lot as well about jungling and in general the map. I think we improved our play from how we played last split and the split before. And so just whenever I see an opportunity that we can go for, then I just try to call it, as every one of the team is doing. So I think I'm just doing the part that I see I can do. And yeah, I try to bring this to the team, because in the end, if you see a play, then it's your responsibility to call for it.
I'm looking forward to seeing how over time this improves as well as we head closer to playoffs. And importantly with playoffs, this win means you are now tied in series with H2K again at the top of Group B. I want to end on a positive note for you, Exileh. So one last question. What is one strength you have or the unicorns have that you think H2K doesn't have that'll let you hold on to that top spot?
I think that H2K have been performing really bad in terms of team fighting. I think that they struggle really hard, and on the other end, I think this is the strength of us. So I think that if we get out of laning phase well, which I think that we don't have a too hard time against H2K, then I think that we can just take them down by team fighting and playing the map superiorly.
Certainly seems to be working out. Some of these late game team fights against Mysterious Monkeys were impressive from the Unicorns of Love. That'll do it for us here after a victorious series for Exileh and the rest of the Unicorns. We're going to head over to the post-game lobby.